All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Since you two, this is Pastor Dow. This video is in reference to the Freddie Gray case there in Baltimore. Freddie Gray was brutally handcuffed and murdered. We will call it bound and gagged by the law enforcement officials of Baltimore. And now, the city of Baltimore, watch this now, is, if they haven't already done it, thinking about moving Freddie Gray's trial away from the judgment of his peers, because Baltimore is 80% black. And of course, this is definitely unconstitutional, but, you know, this is the thing I keep trying to tell us over and over and over again. And regardless, you see, Fox News, the Supreme Court, the so-called lawmakers, their run is over with trying to control the people of this land through words and what they call journalism. I call rogue journalism. The court, this is what's taking place now. The court of public opinion is trumpeting these selected officials. And the people are tired. They're tired. You know, the one thing that you never hear that was reported, that's never been reported, is that the people in Baltimore try to do things lawfully and their voices wasn't heard. All right? Their voices wasn't heard. The only time that people want to come out from behind the curtain, like that man did in The Wizard of Oz, is when the only way that the people's voices can be heard is when they start tearing up every damn thing. And of course, now you have to understand, I believe in protest. I believe in protest in any way that you can get your voice heard, because trying to do things after the system that they have given us simply don't work. So-called lawful. But who sets the dang laws? It ain't the people. But the court of public opinion is now in session. And it's, hey, I know that everybody's trying to demonize these people for tearing up everything. Who cares about the businesses there in Baltimore anyway? They're not for the people. Let me give you people some facts here. If you are a W-2 wage earner in the United States of America, you are the lowest and based of humanity in this country. What you really truly are is a legal slave. And the rich, the corporations, the businesses, they use you and give you dismal pay in order for them to continue to make exorbitant amount of profits. And the court system, the lawyers and all them, they're always going to be for the businesses. Always for the business. Hey, I can't see why these people going to tap business. Not only are they going to tap businesses, they're going to move from the inner city and they're going to go to the places to where you rich people live in quietness, and they're going to disturb your neighborhoods. And they're going to start tearing up your neighborhoods, because sooner or later, they're going to get it that it's not the people that we have living next to us that's the problem. It's the people who living in these sealed houses 20 and 30, 40 miles away outside of the city in these gated communities. These are the ones that's the problem. Now, in this country, they are already getting ready to, look at this now, pass laws by state making it illegal to film or photograph a police officer. Now, mind you, can you imagine how much injustice and how much injustice we are? Is if you walk into that court and you got a lawyer and you got and you have a police officer and it's just you finish. It's a feeding frenzy. They're going to abuse you and misuse you, because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's a total corrupted system. And they talk about courtroom strategies and procedures and everything. Again, regardless of what the courts say, nobody cares. The people are voting, and they're voting with the only way they can get heard is through, now notice, they always like touting violence? Why come it's not violence what the police officers did to Freddie Gray? You see, there are more people in the United States of America than law enforcement. There are more people in the United States of America than court officials and judges and lawyers and politicians. There are more people in the United States of America than law enforcement. And the people are starting to band together, and they're starting to do what Thomas Jefferson told the people what they should do, and we should have done a long, long time ago in this country. And so what you're watching, civil disobedience, that's what they call it. I call it obedience, because we realize that this country is out of touch with the people. We realize that if you got people who make the laws, they don't support the law. They get off every hand, air quote, of Fast and Furious. What words can he say to these people in protest? What can Barack Hussein Obama, the president, say with all the blood he has on his hands? Or George W. Bush or any of them? What can they say? They can't. You can offer an opinion. But see, people are getting sick and tired of people championing themselves as the epitome of righteousness when they are servants of corruption. And it's just, hey, again, you can have your airwaves. You can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do, but it's still not going to stop the court of public opinion voting. They're going to tap the whole damn city. That's what they're going to do. That's how they're going to get heard. And that's the only way they can be heard. So you can use disparaging comments. You can speak. You can try to call them a bunch of animals and everything else. Well, damn. I get if they're animals, they uncaged. Now let me give you the difference between a domesticated lion, circus lion, and a lion born in the wild. And let's see if you can understand this or comprehend this. You see, a circus lion, you can put him out there and a man can have a whip and he can command that lion to jump up on that stool. And that lion will jump up on that stool. You can command that lion to give a paw. That lion will give a paw. You can command that lion to roar, and it will roar. You can command that lion to open up your mouth, and that man could stick his head in that mouth. And the whole crowd at the circus would applaud. These golf clapping fools. But a lion that is born in the wild, you ain't going to tell him to jump up on no damn stool. You sure ain't going to tell him to roar at your command. And you damn sure ain't going to stick your head in that lion's mouth and think it's not going to get bit off. You see the difference? Do you see the difference? You see, civilization is domestication. That's what it is. It's a literal robbing of the human nature and culture. What they're trying to do is modify people from whenever they know injustice is done, they're trying to continually to keep over and over and over again, get these people in a pacifist state to just take the tyranny, take the injustice and just shut up and just be glad you're living and glad you're existing. But these lions that are born in the wild, these lions that are not castrated, these lions are operating after another rule because they know that there is no justice in this land. None whatsoever at all. And so they're going to take the law into their own hands. The court of public opinion. They are going to do that which is right. And no matter how much you talk about them, it's not going to stop the destruction. It ain't. And let these cops get acquitted. And over there in Baltimore. You thought you saw a riot in Baltimore before. You ain't seen nothing yet. You might as well get ready to roll out all the alphabet soup organizations that are paid by the people to commit tyranny against them. You might as well roll out all the armed forces and everything else because Baltimore is all but finished. It will be a human Katrina. That's exactly what's going to happen. And not only that, there's going to be protests. Civil unrest is already here. I wish that some way, somehow, that I had the words adequate enough to get the people to see that the powers that be in this country have almost got the people to the point to not only are they warring against the government, but the government is making moves to get the people to war amongst themselves. A race war, racial wars. It's not going to be stopped. It's not going to be stopped because tensions are high. People are offended. I just did a video a while ago, and most people right now still think that this is a black-white issue or a color issue, and it is in many, many areas. Unbelievable, literally believable what's going on. So let's just go ahead and get it through our heads. Number one, you're not going to stop the race wars. Number two, you're not going to stop this country from being burnt. Rome was burnt, so goes America. And the powers that be who have the capital to be able to, they're international, to be able to get out of this sinking ship, and there's many of them already doing it right now, they're going to lead the people back here to a bloodbath. Literally, it's going to be a bloodletting in this country. And I can't stop it. I've tried my best to talk to people, and we already know that there is no country called the United States of America, and there's no such thing as freedom, and there's no such thing as liberty. It's not. And in every city, you're going to watch it be destroyed. We're going back to Mad Max days, and I'm not talking about this new one. I ain't even seen it yet. We're going back to the Mad Max days that was done by Mel Gibson. That's the way this country is getting ready to look, and you better get yourself ready, because they ain't going to stop it. They ain't going to stop it all. Now, you've got police officers beating up on journalists. And I'm going to give you a short clip here and let you see that at the end of this video. And it's just a sad, sad thing. Journalists are now, because they have a camera in their hand, are getting beat by cops. Can you imagine if we didn't have these nice high-speed cameras on these cell phones and things that are getting caught, and then they're immediately getting loaded up to social media? Can you imagine how many crimes the cops have gotten by with? Can you imagine that? How many crimes they have committed and gotten by with? And look and see how they lie. They lie and they get off. And the first thing the system does is support its own. They don't care. I'm telling you, people, this world is against you. You have slave and you have master. That's all there is to it. That's the way the system is. And it's a sad situation. You're not free. You never have been free. And the only freedom you ever going to have is whenever you can finally get it. The best thing for you to do is to try your best to get away from it all. Now, they got drones, they got satellites and everything else. They know where you are. They know where you are. They know everything there is to know about you. They do. They have all of it. Nevertheless, if they come in your backyard, you are the law of the land. Now, I can't myself personally see following the law of the land that actually goes against what the Bible says. Now we're passing into law where man can lie with man as with woman. And even though the Bible clearly tells us it's an abomination, look what the law says. So can these people really truly adjudicate matters when they don't even know right from wrong? When they can't even judge what nature says? Who gonna follow them? I'm not following. Rich people, your day is over. People ain't playing the game no more. Your cities are burned. And the women are going to be ravished. I'm serious. It's just what the prophet Isaiah said. It's just a sad situation at what America has become. And we're going from bad to worse. Get yourself ready for the ride of your life and save yourself from his untoward generation and be sanctified by getting out of these population centers. Move out of these population centers. I've had the same message for over 20 years. And I say I'm a pastor, I vote with my feet. Yeah, you go to churches, they preach this prosperity doctrine, and your ship never comes in. And the people, oh man, I can go on all day long. But anyway, hey, I want you to see a little short video clip of this journalist getting whipped by the police. So much for the Constitution, huh?
He's a photographer! He's press! Photographer! He's a photographer!
Now, that video was captured by a city paper managing editor by the name of Bernard Woods, and you can see that they're yelling, he's a photographer, he's a journalist, like, let him go, you know, and apparently at some point they finally just kind of gave up and they did let him go. But when that was posted online, it had the caption, me being beat on by several Baltimore police, and then he also used the hashtags Freddie Gray, hashtag Baltimore. So